Good afternoon and welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Dimas Wine Shop and Tasting Room video that we do weekly. And my name is Dylan and we're going to take it right from the top. What we've got is all Eurocentric wines. These wines are easy drinking, bistro style, nothing serious. So let's just start out with wine number one. And we are going to go into the Bodegas Muriel, which is the house that it comes from. And this is a Rioja wine. I know that when talking about Rioja, people just assume or automatically picture red wine, which isn't necessarily that far from the truth, but they do a lot of white wine. And here's a perfect example of a white Rioja Blanco. It's a 100% Viura is the name of the grape, and it comes from the Rioja Alta region. This is their 2012. Interesting on the way this wine's made. 3 hours skin contact is the way it's done. It's done in stainless steel fermentation. And you know, it definitely has that acidity, that grassiness, and those citrusy notes, and kind of green apple too, is what you would get. But it's got some nice balanced acidity. It is on the light side, on the very light side. So I certainly wouldn't be introducing any heavy dishes or even any big cheeses in this wine. I'd be sticking to something like salads or maybe even some seafood. But here's a great, easy drinking, light styled white. Then we move on to the Domaine de Cristia. This is a French selection. It's 100% Grenache, easy drinking, 100% Grenache, like I said. 6 months in concrete vats, and it does come from southern Rhone. And I'm just looking here. You know, real easy. It's a little bit lighter than what you would expect a lot of these southern Rhone Grenaches to be like. But you know, it doesn't really see any oak, so therefore it definitely stays on the lighter side. All right, and number 3 in our list is German effort here. It is Reitberg is the house. Pfalz is the region. For those of you that were drinking wine like, let's say, pre-93, probably would have seen this region known as the Rheinpfalz. But just due to better selection and some more upgraded AVAs, as a result now what we've got is just the Pfalz region, which is just about an hour's drive south of Frankfurt. But let me just look at the label here real quick just so I can explain a couple of things. Reitberg is the house, as I was saying. Trocken just means that it's dry. Dornfelder is the name of the grape, is the grape variety, and then this is basically saying it's a Dornfelder varietal wine. 2011, of course, the vintage. Rotwein just means red wine, and Pfalz, once again, is the region that it came from. Real nice wine, bursting with a lot of big fruit. So this one will catch you by surprise for sure. Let's move over to the Inspiración, which is a Rioja, so the red brother of this white wine over here. So what we've got is 90% Tempranillo, 10% Graciano. Big licorice and cola notes. It spends a good amount of time on French American oak. And when I say that, it's about, I'm going to say it's months. It's probably about 8 months worth of oak and 11 months worth of oak. So licorice, cola, really well blended, well made. Has a real nice little kiss of vanilla right there at the end as well. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the 209, the La Selve. This is the Serre de Berthier. This here is 60% Syrah, 30% Merlot, 5% Grenache, and 5% Cinsault. 8-week fermentation, and a combination of steel and concrete is the fermentation. Aged 2 years on neutral barrels, which are the 60-gallon Burgundian barrels. This is just west of the Rhone, and it's from a place called Coteau-l'Ardèche, which the Ardèche River runs just right along this region here. But big, leathery, clovey, cassis. This has got some grip to it. It definitely has got some tannins that are going to hold this wine a little bit firm. So I would be introducing this to some bigger foods. Then, last but not least, let's go over to the Macchia, the Primitivo. Now, Primitivo and Zinfandel, many of you may know, they're almost 100% related. They are actually clones of a Croatian grape, but that they are very closely related, and a lot of people at UC Davis will say that their DNA strands are almost identical. So when drinking Primitivo, one could say that you're drinking Zinfandel as well. So we'll let whoever wants to decide what it is, we'll let them decide. But it does come from Salento, which if you were to go down into Puglia, Puglia is the heel of the boot, and right on that heel is where this region is. And what can I tell you about it other than it's got some big notes of once again of some fruit, peppery. Spent 6 months on French oak, of which a good portion of it I believe is new. And this wine is probably my favorite on the tasting. I just tasted this one right before, and I'm really impressed with this with that Spanish Rioja, so with the red. So, and the faults as well. So good tasting. Can't wait for all of you to come in and try these European wines, maybe a lot of labels that you're not normally exposed to, but we look forward to seeing you. Just talk about for next week, we were off this week, so we're off this week from the wine classes. So for next week, we go right into Loire Valley, and Loire Valley is definitely one of the more underappreciated French regions that we'll be delving into and trying a lot of those wines. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in, and see you soon.